2011 Empowering Bill, committee stage continued.
I declare the House and Committee for further consideration of the Rugby World Cup 2011 Empowering Bill.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chairman.
Members, the House and Committee for further consideration on the Rugby World Cup 2011 Empowering Bill. Members, when we first considered the bill, debate on Part 5 was in progress. Claire Curran had the call and has 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining should she wish. The Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Part 5 of the Rugby World Cup 2011 Empowering Bill deals with World Cup liquor licences, and there's a couple of issues that I'd ask the Minister to address. The first is to agree that there was a need. The first point I'd make is to agree that there was a need to have some changes to liquor licence laws. One of the reasons was that there's a decision from the Liquor Licensing Authority that says that an event that is held outside of normal terms and conditions of liquor licences, which is the subject of a special licence application at the moment, and the grounds for that are to replay or to play contemporaneously in another venue a match that's already on. The Liquor Licensing Authority, or there's a decision from some branch of the liquor licensing regime that says that that's not within the jurisdiction of the authority to grant, and that may well be a fair rule normally, but the view of the government and the opposition agrees with this, is that in respect of the Rugby World Cup, when there will be a lot of people in town who actually for some venues can't get a ticket, want to go along and watch that somewhere else, and they should be able to do that on licensed premises, and those licensed premises should be able to get a variation of their licence to enable that to happen, and this enables that to happen. But the question that I'd like the Minister to answer is whether he's willing to express an opinion based on the experiences that we had at Eden Park over the weekend as to whether we need to take a bit of care here, because people getting a bit too tanked up and booing during the national anthem and throwing bottles onto Eden Park is not a good look, and I'm sure none of us in this House want to see that repeated in the Rugby World Cup. And given that the authorities were saying that what was happening there in respect to the Rugby League match there in the weekend was a bit of a dress rehearsal for what happened at the Rugby World Cup, then there might be a need to actually have a bit of a look at some of those licensing conditions as they apply to Eden Park. Now, I would personally, I've always thought that it's a nonsense in New Zealand that you can buy cans and bottles. Right. Cans and bottles. You can't in America. Why can't you in America? Because there were cases, personal injury cases taken in America, and they were won when the council actually took out of the paper bag the simple thing of a paper cup or a plastic cup, which of course avoids injury to those. Pretty hard to throw a paper cup very far. The liquid falls out compared with a full bottle, which can hurt someone. So, Mr. Speaker, I would hope that consideration is given to moving to that sort of a regime in New Zealand where we consider at least, and I'm not sure what the right answer is, but consider at least whether under liquor licensing conditions we can protect the public from injury by making sure that this liquor is served in a vessel that can't be thrown. Pretty simple advance that seems to have been made in other Western democracies, including the United States, and I would hope that in this legislation we can achieve something similar. So I would ask the Minister and the Chair to confirm whether Part 5 on Rugby World Cup liquor licences can be used to impose reasonable conditions that actually are better for members of the public. It also means that you can't walk back with a dozen secreted around your body in different parts, because it's pretty hard to carry a dozen open vessels of beer. So, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I would ask that the Speaker just address that issue arising out of the experience that we had in Eden Park over the weekend.
Keith.